a second. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm Bob Pace, I'm your host. And this evening I have a caller that called in. They had a CPS case in Orange County, California with the Child Protection Services in there. Now what I call CPS, I call the Child Protection System. Every county, every state will have a different name. Like in LA County's Department of Children and Family Services. In Arizona's Department of Children's Services, DCS. In Richmond, Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. So instead of using over the 1,000 some names of every county, I just say CPS. Everybody knows what CPS is. And in Orange County, it's the Child Protection Services. So the Child Protection System is a government entity that was created in 1962, and Congress informed that social service would get together a group of social workers and form the Child Protection System. And they came up with their names in every county, every state. Now, the purpose of this is to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Also, it's supposed to do family reunification. They're supposed to provide services to the family, such as food, shelter, clothing, education, medical, even help you get a job, and transportation. That's what they're supposed to provide. And if they had that, then our kids would be retained a lot longer if they don't take them out of their home, because the best place to put children is with the biological mother and father. Now, this lady who called in just has finished her case. She got her child back, and so she's going to start from the beginning, how it started. Now, unfortunately, she had a bad father for the child. He did all kinds of harm to the person when he talked to you. He is in a lot of trouble himself. He hasn't provided child support. He's not interested in the child. So I don't want to take too much away from my caller. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, say where you're from, and how your case got started, and the ages of the children, okay? Welcome. Go ahead. Of this year? Wow, you got it over quick. I'm really impressed. Go ahead. Most cases take a year. Most cases take a year to 3. All right. And why was that? Why did you stop the contact with their grandparents seeing your children? Why was that? Were you once in foster care yourself? Were you once in foster care yourself? Oh, wow. Wow. So usually people that have problems with their own children or have problems with CPS, they are foster care children who grow up as an adult. And what's happens, the database on you as your foster child, as a youth, is kept in their system, and they do everything they can to come and take your children when you start having children. Uh-huh. So you have two children. You have two children. And when did CPS get involved? How old were they when they got involved? Now, did you have a CPS case then? Okay. All right. Okay. And okay, now is the father the biological father of both children, or they're two different fathers? And what happened to him? Ooh. So you would have had three children. You would have had three children. Yeah. So he domestic violence. Now, did CPS get involved when he did domestic violence to you? That's interesting because they usually do, because the police will come, and if there's domestic violence to either one of you, they usually will ask you, do you want to put a restraining order on him? And then they'll contact CPS to come and get your children. So I'm really surprised they didn't come and get your son. Did you think, okay, were you guys married, or was this a boyfriend girlfriend relationship? Right, but you weren't married. Now, is he on the birth certificate? Okay. So he's the biological father, and he didn't want to be involved after the domestic violence. He wanted nothing to do with either one of you, right? Wow. Wow. That hurts. That hurts. I'm so sorry, Carly. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, she didn't know. She got probably duped too, just like you did. And now, were you any attempt made by you to ask for child support of your son? And did he pay any child support? Did he pay any child support? It- right. They will do that. They also do his wages. Did you have his place of employment? They'll take it out of the place of employment too. Okay. So now you're recovering with domestic violence, and is your son a special needs son? Well, the son that's you. Okay, I'm confused. Is it two boys or a boy and a girl? Okay. So your oldest son is the one with the domestic violence from the guy that went off with a girl shortly after your birth, and you've been trying to raise him as a single mom, correct? And then you had another relationship, I assume, and you had your second boy, right? Well, that was because you were raped. That was because you're raped with the second relationship. So you were raped, and a lot of people don't believe in abortion. They don't believe in abortion, so you decide to have the child. Okay. Now, the guy that raped you, did you press charges against him for rape?
I made a police report.
Now, wait, the second child, who's on the birth certificate of the second child? Oh, okay. It was raped. It was raped. Never mind. It was raped. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, did they, when you were raped, did they do a rape with a rape kit? Did they test you? Oh, so it's too late to do the kit. Yeah, for all my listeners out there, yeah, for all my listeners out there, I don't mean to interrupt you, Carly, but I want everybody to listen that when if you do get raped, it's a horrible thing to go through. My wife was raped at a concert at 16, so I know all about it. And she ended up having her son adopted at birth, and he turned out to be a fine man in the United States Air Force, and he works as a JAG, and he has a family of his own, and so he's thankful that he was kept and born alive and not aborted. But you need to have a kit tested right away. You need to, I know it's a horrible experience, and you need a female to do the testing. Don't let any guys con you that they can do the testing. And it's a special kit, and they'll check you out thoroughly. So you allege that you were raped, and you want to prove that by doing a paternity test, correct? Oh, there was? Did your sister try to fight the guy off, or what did your sister do? Right.
What he gave me, I couldn't remember leaving the restaurant. I couldn't remember getting home. I couldn't remember getting in my bed. And my sister told me, and I was just afraid. And then I found out 2 months later that I was pregnant, and there
Okay.
wasn't, really much else I could do at that point other than when my son was born. And I went to the social services office when he was a month old. I told them what happened to me. They said they had to report it, which they did. And they told me that they would do a court-ordered paternity test. So for the next 7 months, they were contacting him. I believe they had an arrest warrant out for him, and I don't remember if he ended up taking it. I don't remember if he was forced to take it. I don't remember if he went on his own volition. I don't even remember if that information was shared with me. But he did take the test, and it did come back that he was the dad. Nothing else was done. Nothing else was done. It was put in my notes. They said in my file. And other than that, they took him for as much child support as they could, or they put it on there like over a little bit over $1,000 a month. None of which he's ever paid, but
Does he have a job? Does he have a job?
you know what? He actually owns a company that is broadcasted all over online. It's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, it has the phone numbers, how to pay, and they have done nothing with that information.
Well, you could give it to the information. They can track them down, believe me, and they can go after extra money to track them down. There's a lot of things they can do right now, but you have to be really frugal by going to the agency that handles the child support. I've been there, and they will attack a lien, and they'll do his tax returns and stuff too. Well, the IRS can chase him down. If he has a business, they can put a lien on his business. They can do all kinds of things. I'm only telling this because there's other people. Listen to me, Carly. When I say that, it isn't directed necessarily to you. It's directed to all the listeners in here because I'm trying to have people learn from your mistakes. It's not your mistakes, not your fault, but to learn because that's what I do with my case. When I relive my case, I tell people what happened to me. I come up with my 5 rules. And anyway, with that being said, go on. So he was assessed child support. He was charged with rape. Did you ever thought about doing a civil suit against him?
I think that the internet is a very scary place. And my 10-year-old gets on there, even with all the security blocks and things that he finds on there. So, no, I chose to just do everything I could to protect my son. I saved up for a long time to go to circuit court and try to get his name off the birth certificate and him to have anything to do with my son. My father has reached out. He's offered anything he'd want just to sign away his rights just to leave my son alone. So we've definitely just done everything we could just to keep him as far away as possible and not to invite at this point any lawsuits. But the way that things have gone in this case and the further detriment to my son, I want him to now know that he has a family who has his back, whether he was a day old or a million years old, that we're going to fight for him and we're going to fight for justice for him, and that he needs to know that that's wrong. And people do get in trouble when they do bad things to people. Even though it hasn't seemed that way for the first portion of his life, that's for
sure. Okay, I got Vincent Davis on my text message. He's my attorney, and I want to interrupt you only for a second to ask you, would you be interested in how much you would charge to have a retainer for you to do a civil lawsuit against CPS of Orange County? Right, I know. Yeah, okay. So your case would be what was it, your civil rights or your constitutional rights are violated? Do they lie in court, or what can we sue them on?
whoever took this report and pushed it through and then removed my children. It's just bonkers. The original report that my biological mother, by the way, there was 12 previous unsubstantiated reports also made by her. Unsubstantiated. So this was the 13th one. Claimed that I punched my oldest son so hard in the face that it moved his two front baby teeth back and his adult teeth down. That was in the report. So them seeing my children 2 days later, my oldest son saying, "Mommy did not hit me. There not being a mark on either child." I was in the hospital. I have Crohn's disease, to where I flare up. I have to go to the hospital. I have to get medication. I was in the middle of a flare. I had just 6 months prior had an aneurysm in my lower intestine and was hospitalized for 2 weeks due to a.
Now I'm trying to think about how I could. Can you speak now? How? Okay.
They put me into a medically induced coma because of the swelling was so bad.
Now, couldn't the children be with your family members? I know you can't be with your mom. Could it be with other family members?
Yeah.
Now, is there anything wrong with you? Now, did you attempt to place your children, your two sons, with your father?
any type of reaction.
Well, why couldn't you drop your children off, your two boys, at your father's home? Okay, so how did CPS? So how did CPS get involved? Were they at the hospital and they found out that you had two children? How did CPS?
Mother was there. She said the kids were with my father, so they went to my father's house, saw the children, and by Monday they were removing them from school.
Okay, I'm just texting him right now.
My civil rights were violated in the hospital. Um, the worker that came to interview me in the hospital when I was put into a medically induced coma with my sister present was shaking my body, trying to wake me up. She was yelling to also try to wake me up. And then she was going around up and down the hallways to the nurses and staff and doctors asking why I was in the hospital. She did this twice, 2 days in a row.
Okay, so your mother-in-law, no, excuse me, your mother tried to interfere with your children, correct?
She was a
Okay. All right. I'm asking them. You're going to be able to. Okay, his lawsuit to start off to do there would be $25,000 for the retainer. Now that $25,000, you will get your money back. If he sues for 2 or 3 million, it will work it out for 25,000. So it's in order for him to do a civil lawsuit, he needs to have a retainer. Now I know that sounds like a lot of money, but he just told me it's 25. Now you're going to have a free consultation with him, and you could probably talk about maybe bringing the $25,000 down. Okay.
Okay.
Also, if he works on a contingency, sometimes 30% is all he'd take. So if it was a $2 million lawsuit, he'd only keep 30%. There wouldn't be a $25,000 retainer. It's up to him. I wanted to sue CPS in Orange County. He wanted $50,000 with me. So 25 sounds better. Well, my case to hire him, it ended up costing me over 150. I lost millions of dollars with CPS. It cost me over $2 million. I lost my forever home. I lost one of my 6 children. He got back my 2 boys, but I had to sell my home. I lived in Orange County. I lived close to the beach. I had to quick sell my home. So I took a hit there, and I have a really legitimate lawsuit. The social worker lied on the stand. She committed perjury, and we could yes. Yes, I remember you now. I remember you so hardly. I remember the story, and the thing about this is that social worker committed a crime. That's called collusion. That is called collusion.
We not to talk to my attorney so that he would be able to see my whenever I'm with. Don't tell your attorney I'm telling you that the day The day that they were supposed to award my son back to me, he went in there and told a completely different story. But right before he did that, he looked at my dad, my father, and I both in the face and said, just to let you know, I already have a new job. And then walked in there and he lied through his teeth. So I had to wait another 6 months. 6 months of being drug tested nonstop. I've never had a DUI. I've never done drugs. I have always held an amazing job. I've always provided for myself and my son. I had to go to anger management because I was raped and because of my oldest son's dad beat me. And those were the reasons that were put of why I had to go to anger management. Neither one of these men had to go through any type of proving that they would be a good parent. No parenting classes, no anger management classes for them. When they have a history of abuse, of aggressive behavior, one of them got arrested for starting a riot and hitting 3 police officers.
Yeah.
One of them has gotten caught with illegal steroids coming over the border into Mexico, and they still, without hesitation, tried to award custody of both of my children to those men, one of which raped me. And that is supposed to be at the best interest of my children when they were not in any type of harm being with my father. Not one whatsoever, not one bit. And that is a man who owns several companies, who's an engineer, he is so intelligent and such a good father. He has raised both my sister and I on his own. And they are trying to say that it was in the best interest of the child to go with these felons over my father, who has been a non-stop, positive, strong role model in their life. What a man is supposed to be.
Okay, hold on a second. The people in my room are having problems watching it. Tony the Tiger, welcome. Tony the Tiger is Cassandra from Ostanego, New York. She has a horrible case and she's been calling on and off, and it's really gotten tough for Tony the Tiger. Now, Tony, are you hearing and seeing me okay? Do you hear my caller from Orange County, California? Dorothy Cook, who's from North Carolina, says that Facebook is not letting me watch your live show. It says having trouble. Is that the way for others as well? I don't know, Dorothy. I'm asking that right now. I'm asking that. Are you watching the show right now, Cassandra?
Are you talking to me?
I'm sorry. I probably said your name again. Oh boy, Carly. Are you watching the show, Carly?
No.
I want to know if it's working. Brown Recluse, who's in my show right now. Brown Recluse has been in before. Hi. Are you able to hear me and see my show, Brown Recluse? Are you able to see and hear me? Any of you guys listening out there, can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? We have Susie Christine give me a thumbs up. Renee Gomez Guerrero, thumbs up. But I don't know since those have been up there already. I'm trying to find out. We have Carly, who was raped twice, I would say. Once by the man that she had a child that, she didn't give up for abortion. And then the social worker raped her too. And, I still call that rape. I don't care if he made a deal with you or not. That's like talking to the devil. That's wrong. Men have got to learn to use the right head, and they got to be respectful to ladies. I don't care what it is. A no is a no. And that is really wrong. That's really, really wrong. Tony the Tiger, do you hear me? Cassandra? Okay, Carly, I'm talking there, so. Go ahead and continue on. I think it's working okay. I'm trying, Dorothy. I'm trying to heal her. Go ahead.
To see how he is every single day. He's not an average kid. He has has had it. And I had it myself, ADHD. He's extremely, extremely, extremely active. There's not one thing wrong with that child. He has an active imagination. He was 4 years old at the time. And gosh, from that court date, I had endured, I think, another 9 months of drug testing, and they called it at random. But it was, 4 or 5 times a week.
So they were dragging this out on you, right? They were dragging this out on you?
Oh, they dragged it out so long. Even when the case was finished, even when I finally got my orders, my exit orders.
Now, did you use all this time? Did you use a court-appointed attorney or public defender? No, I meant don't need to know the name, but used an attorney. But was that attorney a court-appointed attorney or a public defender? Or really? Okay, so you hired her. Now, what is her background? Does she have juvenile law, family law, or dependency law background? Has she ever fought CPS? Has she ever done a lawsuit against CPS? See, there's the big mistake. I tell people when they're looking for an attorney, they got to satisfy 2 criteria before you even talk to them further. 1, they got to be a professional licensed lawyer in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's what CPS works in there. That's what they do. The second thing is once your case is over, you can do a lawsuit. And then you ask the attorney, the same attorney you asked the first question, ask the second question, have you ever done a lawsuit, either in state court or federal court, and won money back? If the answer is yes, you got yourself somebody you can talk to them further. You still need to get 3 references, and you still need to meet them face to face. And you should do this with 3 attorneys. And one of them can be Mr. Davis, by the way. He meets all that criteria. He's been fighting CPS for 39 years. He was once a foster kid himself. He is a pit bull attorney. He knows how to fight. He's very creative, and he does want to get your children back. He'll fight for you. And he does civil lawsuits. He's won millions of dollars against CPS. In fact, CPS doesn't like Mr. Davis, and they hear that he's the attorney, they usually back off. Furthermore, they use his videos as training videos for the social workers, so they know what kind of attorney that they're going to be up against, because he pretty much tells the truth and everything. And the way he got my social worker and how she committed perjury was marvelous. He just bait and trapped her, and the next thing you know, she was done. But she retaliated. That's another thing. Social workers will retaliate. They will retaliate.
Oh, yes. It didn't feel like living in the system in the United States of America. It didn't feel like these people say what birthday you have.
Yeah, I agree. For a lot of you listening to me as I talk to our guest tonight, I put down things like the parent guide, and that's for the grandparent guide to adopt your grandchildren and where they get the information and so forth. I try to put things that will help you. There's also the website for Attorney Vincent Davis I put up there for you to go to see. And let me see. Oh, I finally made this here. So many people have been asking me about how they get in touch with the Department of Government Efficiency. That's called DOGE. That is called DOGE. Now, the website is doge.gov, and the phone numbers are the numbers directly to the White House. And if you have a complaint against CPS, there's the top rung of the ladder. They're investigating social services right now and they'll be investigating the child protection system. That number 202 is the White House. And I have tried the numbers, they do work. And they will direct you to somebody that will be able to take what you're saying, the complaint in there. The Department of Government Efficiency was created by Donald Trump in January, and it was headed up by Elon Musk, who's now done his 130 days. That's the requirement was they can't be on there longer than 130 days. His 130 days is up May 31st, so he's gone back. He has trouble with his Tesla cars because too many people have been sabotaging them. He's also, his rocket on SpaceX is, crashed a couple times, so he's going back to his business. And he did try to save millions of dollars. They're hoping to get trillions of dollars savings, but I think they've come up with millions of dollars of savings. If you go to the website.gov, it will show you exactly what they've saved. Now, for some of you listeners just coming aboard, I'm putting things up and also having Carlene talk about her case. And let me see what else. I talked about the resources. Oh, here's Vincent Davis's main site. Go ahead.
Was name and didn't even go as to say he was now abusing my son. And then they wanted to put him into the foster care system.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
And then, oh yes.
Well, I had you're not the first person. Today I heard from the court this morning from a couple, Jessica and Pyron, who from Santa Clarita are being charged by CPS by doing medical neglect to their 4-year-old daughter, who's now 5. And they're trying to accuse the parents not taking medical attention, which they did, by the way. They went to their pediatrician first. They recommended the pediatrician they go to the emergency room, the hospital. They went there. That emergency room thought it was appendix that had caused the pain in the lower abdomen. The problem was it wasn't on the right side, it was on the left side. But they didn't take x-rays. They should have taken x-rays. They used sonogram, but they said, no, it's got to be the appendix. So they went to a second hospital for a second opinion. That second hospital still agreed. So they had the appendix removed. But after the appendix was removed, the child was still complaining of pain. And so they took it a third time. And that's when they took an x-ray and discovered that the child had gallstones from her gallbladder. They were blocking the duct. And that was causing the pain on the left side, not the right side where appendix is. And so the appendix was taken out. They have a civil lawsuit for malpractice for removing the appendix because the appendix should stay. The appendix has a vital part for all you listeners out there. It provides immunity as a child is growing. So you do not want to take the appendices if you're not sure about it. And this hospital was not sure. Anyway, the parents did everything they could humanly possibly do. They wanted a second opinion. They wanted to make sure, and they would nowhere means they endangered the child. And they have medical reports from the child's pediatrician, from the first hospital, the second hospital, and the third hospital that said the parents weren't. But a social worker butt in and heard that the parents were questioning things, and they thought that they're doctors. You see, social workers think they can prescribe medicine. They're not clinical psychiatrists. They're bad. I've heard from so many people. See, I've talked to over 1,700 people from around the world. That's 23 countries, including the U.S., and all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. And it's so important for all out there. But I'm trying to tell you, it is happening so fast. The cases are. This morning, I spent a good I had 8 calls, 8 different cases going. Tonight, I just have one right now, and I know other people want to call in, which is fine. We'll get to them. I'm on twice a day. For some of you that don't know, I'm on, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and on the weekends at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then every night of the week, I'm on at 7 o'clock. So that's my show. You can message my producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com, and she will gladly put you on my show as a guest. Now, also, if you call in to my phone number or be a guest on my show, you're entitled to a free 15-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis. And Carlene's going to get that. She's going to get that. And I'll tell her how to do it there, because she'll be able to talk to a real attorney. Mr. Davis has already quoted that to handle her case right now it's $25,000 for the retainer. But I can guarantee he will get millions of dollars from the Orange County. He has won cases in Orange County. And I regret that I couldn't sue, because I couldn't come up with another $50,000 retainer. I'd already spent $150,000 getting my 2 boys back. So it is hard. It is hard coming up with the money. I know it's so hard it is. Now, anyway, if you want to talk longer than 50 minutes, he has for $60 a 30-minute private Zoom consultation, but you need to go to the website yourself and schedule it yourself and pay with your credit card. That's $60 for 30 minutes. It's on the screen. That's another way. A lot of people want, and also he's on every morning at 6:30, and he's on Saturdays at 10 o'clock in the morning, where he talks about things, his calls in, and you answer your questions. So he gives a lot of his free time. That's one thing he is. He gives a lot of his free time. Now, my number, by the way, is 626-698-0990. Carlene, call me on that number. That's the same number, Carlene. Since you've talked on the show, I can verify that you have. All you need to do is text me at that number your first full name, and your email and your phone number. Your email and your phone number that you want them to call you at. Those 3 things, you text it to me, and I'll send it over to my show producer, who arrange a private 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. And he already knows that I want to schedule that time with him. I've already been communicating with Vincent Davis tonight. And so I'm trying to help you get there with him on that. So, I had another case for some people in Trenton, New Jersey, that wanted some consultation. And it's $300 for 30 and $400 for 60 minutes. So, you can call in and you can get, or you don't even have to call in. You can call that one for $6, that website, and get 30 minutes for $60. So there's lots of ways. There's lots of ways in there. Now, so this social worker made a deal with you that if you slept with him, he would provide you with what?
So he actually verbatim told me, "You will never get your son back." He then told me, because my oldest son's dad lives up north, and that was where my son was at, that he was taking a long drive, that he was going up north to see my son. And he had previously mentioned that, again, he had a wife and children. And so I was trying to be kind, and I said, "Oh, are you bringing your wife and children?" And he said, "Oh, no, not them. Just like that, I need a break from them." And he goes, "But I'm going to be," and again, I was accused of being an alcoholic, so keep this in mind. He said, "I'm going to hit up some wineries and cigar lounges along the way, and I wanted to see if you would like to come with me."
Oh,
I didn't respond. I did not know how to respond to that. I did not know. I just sat there. I cannot remember how the rest of the conversation went. I just remember being shocked and mortified at what he had just told me, that I was never going to see my son again. And I felt like, no, if I didn't do that, that I really would never see him again. And so at the second meeting, he came into my house. He showed me a clipboard, and I had 7 names with phone numbers and addresses, and maybe a line or 2 of notes under each. And the names are highlighted. And he said, "Do you see this?" He said, "These are people that really need my help. These are the serious cases." He showed that to me. Sat down at my countertop, flopped down his folders, and he asked me, "So did you give any thought to what I said?" I just shook my head and I said, "Why won't you tell me anything?" I said, "Why won't you tell me anything about my son? Why won't you tell me how to get him back? Why can't we talk about Odin? Why can't we talk about Zane?" And he refused. He laughed at me. And he was the one that was supposed to be facilitating the phone calls. And so he simply would not pick up the phone so I could have the visitation phone calls, monitored phone calls. I couldn't even talk to my son. And the only people that he would clear in order to have someone supervise visitation was Trisha, the biological mother, the woman who had made the false report, and her husband. Not my father, not my sister, none of the people that would advocate for not only myself but my children, the people that had been involved in a consistent basis, daily basis in my children's lives, would not let them even see them or talk to them. It was bonkers. I didn't know what to do. My father had asked the supervisor as well as the social worker, or the one who was supervising, for the complaint number, for the number that you're allowed to call if there's a problem. They refused to give it to him. I was scheduled to see my son on Christmas, and his father kept him. So violated the court order, violated what the judge had said, and nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. We were finally able to make the complaint. I was finally able to talk to a woman that was the boss of the supervisor, and she pulled him off the case after about 2.5 weeks of still not being able to talk to my son. She promised that I would get that time back, whatever that meant. I never got any time back. And they kept his friend, who was his supervisor, who was associated with this entire group of events, knowing that his friend was doing this, and kept him on the case. To which he would not answer phone calls, he wouldn't answer text messages, he wouldn't return voicemail until the day before the court date. And then even on the court date, they would turn in their report an hour and a half late. So half the time, our court hearing would then be pushed back because the worker consistently was not turning this paperwork in on time. Or at all.
Wow.
The judge did not care, did not seem to care. I was alienated from my kids with no just cause.
That is hard to swallow.
It is a huge, huge, hard pill to swallow. And I couldn't be there for my children when they needed me less. I couldn't even talk to them. I couldn't make sure that they were okay. I couldn't. Nothing. There's literally nothing I could do. Nothing. There is nothing they could do.
All right. So how did it come to, how were you able to win the case? What did you do to win your case?
I completed, they couldn't enroll me into any more things to complete. So they sent the emergency services to, not emergency, I don't know if that's called, but it's basically where someone comes to your house like twice a week and just randomly pops up to see what's going on and to see how you're doing, watches you with your child, your children, just feels out the entire situation. And this is after me begging them to put someone in my house so they could see what's really going on. They can see that he's okay. They can see my house. They can see our family. They can see that everything was fine. He came in for, gosh, what was it, a month, and never had. He applauded me, said that I was an amazing mother, that he didn't understand why he was even sent there, and this is on the report that he turned in to the court system. I completed every anger management. I had never tested positive for alcohol, by the way, had never tested positive for drinking, had never tested positive for anything other than the medication that they gave me in the hospital, and that was all non-narcotic medication. I literally completed everything to where there was my attorney, I remember on one of the last days of court was sitting there saying, she has done everything. What more can she do? There was nothing else that they could give me. There was not one help, nothing. I completed everything. And they had my case, pushed out for an additional 6 months until it was ended. And then I had to wait another 3.5 months just for my exit orders to be able to take my son to the doctor. Exit orders, so I can by myself take my son to the doctors. 3.5 months for exit orders. There was no reason for me not to have a case. There was nothing else that they could give me. There was nobody else that they could send. They ran out of objectives. They ran out. I don't know how else to put that. There was nothing else that they could say. Every private psychologist that we hired, I took them to counseling once a week. I literally did it all.
Wow. And now, have you gotten a letter? Have you got a letter from them that says your case is over?
No, actually, I had just reached out to my past attorney and had asked where the exit orders were, and she said that they should be getting them within 5 days. So
keep on top of that. Also, you need to purge your file. You need to have them erased. If you're found not guilty, they need to erase everything on you because they'll keep that data and come after you again and again and again. Orange County makes $20,000 off every child that's in their custody. They also make additional $15,000 for special need kids. That's per month, by the way. So that's $35,000 per month they do one child. On top of that, they get another $35,000 if that child is adopted in foster care. They get a one-time fee of $35,000 if the CPS agency can adopt that child in foster care. There's an incentive. It's the incentive law of 1997, signed into law by President Bill Clinton, that says that they'd rather the children be adopted foster care than take a year to do family reunification. They say it's too long. Well, one rape. Your second child was a rape. Your first father went up north. You got raped a second time by a social worker. You've been tormented and tortured long enough, and you have a really good case for a civil lawsuit. Because I know that your constitutional and civil rights have been violated. Right. Right. I want to say hello to Margaret King, who's been on our show for a long time. Hello, Margaret King. It's good to see you. I'm so glad that you are there. Um, do you have anything new you want to say, Margaret King? Is there anything new I can share with the people here? I'm not going to take any more phone calls because we have about 5 minutes left. It's already 8 o'clock, and I started my show a little bit late, but I need to give you guys a good hour. So we'll go to about 8 minutes after the hour. And I want to thank Dorothy Cook from North Carolina, who has had a horrible case. Margaret King is from California, from the Kern River area. She's hired Mr. Davis, and Margaret King has had Mr. Davis remove her criminal charge and do some other things that she's trying to get back her children. Brown Rescues talked this morning, and she's been talking about her case. And Brown Rescues is from, oh boy, I want to say from Texas. I want to say she's from Texas. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brown. Tony the Tiger is from Ostenago, New York. That's Cassandra. And she has a horrible case where she's living in a terrible place and they're trying to take her son away from her. And she said that so Tony the Tiger from Ostenago, New York. Now, she's been severely targeted, she says, by the system to the point they're testing new traffic means using me as a guinea pig, and my child is a pawn in their sick game at 10:30 my time, 7:30 your time, be known if calling in. That is terrible. Possibly my story needs to be heard because so many will understand and relate. We need to take seriously, come together to raise awareness together. Together, my son is in the process of being trafficked as crazy. And I'm sorry to hear that, Cassandra. That is wrong. That is totally, totally, totally wrong. Now, let me see what else Tony had to say. Hi, Daniel Watt from Georgia. Daniel Watt has a son that she finally got guardianship at 19. He's a special needs son. So it is good to see you too, Danielle. Tonight is not so bad. We have one caller in, and a lot of people are just texting me as it gets going. I know you're not crazy, Tony the Tiger. I know that.
You're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Danielle, the mother that's talking to us is from Orange County, California. She's from Yorba Linda area. She has a horrible case where she was wrongly accused, and her second child that was born that came from a rape, and then she was raped by a social worker a second time. Um, it's a very bad experience this single mother has been to try to fight things, and the biological fathers aren't involved. But she has two boys, is what she has. What are the ages now today? What are the ages of your two boys? All right, so they're still very young. They're very precocious at that age. I know when I was 6 years old, my son was 9 years old at the time. I had a very young family later in life. I've had a total of 6 children that I've helped raise, and three of the oldest have families of their own. Two of them are still living with me, and I lost my daughter because she was told by retaliation by a social worker to emancipate from her parents. She was only 12 years old, seal her birth certificate, to get a new name, a new birth certificate, a second social security card, and be adopted by foster care. She was orchestrated and told to do that. She did not know that on her own. And now she's 22 years old. That was all at 12. Now she's 22 years old, and she wants nothing to do with her parents. So it is sad. It is really, really sad. But I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there because I can help you all out there because I really want to help you. Now, it's been 1 hour since I've talked, and it's 8:08. I do need to bring everything to a close. Now, oh boy, your name somehow is having a hard time. Krista? Carly. Okay, I keep calling it Krista. Okay, Carly, please text me your full name, Carly, your email, and your phone number so that I can tell Grace that you qualify for a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. Now, he's giving you a quote of roughly $25,000 retainer for doing a civil lawsuit. And I know that he will work with you on that. There's also a possibility you can ask him that could he do a contingency lawsuit where he gets a certain percentage, like say 30%. They get $1 million, he gets 30% of that. Which I think in your case, any money would be better than nothing. But he is an expert at doing lawsuits, and he's got back millions of dollars fighting CPS. So he's a good candidate for you. And hopefully in your 15-minute consultation, you'll take the time to ask questions. Prioritize your questions. Ask the important ones first. And if you need more time and you want to do 30 minutes, it's $60. 30 minutes is $60. His normal rate is $500 an hour, but he'll do Zoom consultation for discounted prices. He sometimes does them for half. It's up to him. I don't know what he'll do for you, but when I get the information, I'll go ahead and forward it on to my show producer, Grace, and she in turn will set up a Zoom conference with him. Okay? Yes, Carly. I really feel for you, especially for the 2 rapes you gone through and everything. Now, Danielle from Georgia, thank you for calling in, and it's so good to see you. Margaret King, thank you from California. Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. Brown Recuse from Texas. Tony the Tiger from New York. I think that's all the people tonight. It's not so bad. Brown Recuse also has a Facebook account too, as well as a YouTube account. All right. So I talked to everybody. There'll be an ending video, a message from Vincent Davis. When I turn off my video, I say goodbye. There'll be an ending video with Mr. Davis. It's about a minute long. And so enjoy it. It's really good. And I want you all to keep fighting for your children. Do not ever give up. Your children are your spice of life, I should say. They're really a blessing. And I'm glad that I have my children. And I want you to still keep fighting for your children. God bless you. And I'll see you all tomorrow at my 10 a.m. show, Pacific Standard Time. This is Bob Pace signing off.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce him. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last